There is a stirring within your soul that you can no longer ignore. A gentle yet undeniable nudge that comes not from the world around you, but from the eternal presence within you, the spark of divine light that has always been there. Archangel Michael is speaking not in thunder or fire, but in the quiet pulse of your heart, in the ache that tells you you were meant for more. He comes not to frighten you, but to awaken you, to shake the dust from your soul and remind you of what you've forgotten, who you truly are. You didn't come here to blend in. You didn't come here to numb yourself with noise or to lose yourself in the chaos of a world that has forgotten its sacredness. You came here as a soul on assignment, carrying a frequency that this earth desperately needs. And Archangel Michael, the protector of truth and bearer of divine clarity, is standing beside you now, sword in hand, ready to cut through the illusions that have clouded your vision for far too long. He sees your exhaustion. He sees how the world has worn you down, how the wounds of your past still echo through your present. But he also sees the light that is never dimmed, even when you forgot it was there, even when you doubted your worth, even when you thought you were broken beyond repair. That light is your essence, it is your truth, and it is time to let it rise. This isn't about becoming someone new. It's about remembering what your soul already knows. It's about waking up from the amnesia of fear and limitation and reclaiming the fullness of your divine identity. You are not your pain. You are not your trauma. You are not your mistakes. You are the witness of all these things. You are the eternal presence that has moved through every storm and still stands. Archangel Michael whispers now, you were never lost. You only closed your eyes for a moment, and that moment may have lasted years, decades, or lifetimes. But no matter how long you've wandered, you can return, you can awaken, you can remember. He's showing you the mirror of your soul. In that mirror, you will not see your flaws. You will see your radiance. You will see the angelic light that has always walked with you. Maybe for the first time in a long time, you will feel a sense of home not out there, but within. The world has taught you to doubt yourself, to shrink, to play roles that were never meant for you. But that was part of the forgetting. It was part of the deep sleep the soul agreed to experience. And now you are being called to rise. Not in anger, not in pride, but in remembrance. With quiet power and unshakable love, the moment has come. To stop searching outside yourself for the validation you were always meant to carry within. Archangel Michael wants you to know you were chosen because you carry a frequency strong enough to pierce through illusion. You're not weak because you've struggled. You are strong because you kept going. You are not broken. You are being reforged. And every time you chose love over fear, even when your heart was shattered, that was divine courage. You are more than your name. You are more than your past. You are more than this moment. You are a soul that has walked many paths, loved many. People healed many wounds, and now you are here again, at the edge of remembering. The signs have been there all along, the dreams, the synchronicities, the moments where time stood still, the chills that ran down your spine when you heard words that echoed truth. Those weren't coincidences. Those were calls. Nudges from your guides, whispers from the divine. And Michael has been with you in each of them, patiently guiding you, waiting for you to recognize the power you've always carried. This isn't a story of becoming. It's a story of awakening. You are not being asked to strive, to prove, or to hustle your way to worth. You are being asked to listen, to allow the layers to fall away, the layers of doubt, the layers of guilt, the layers of pretending to be less than what you are. Let yourself soften. Let the tears come if they need to. Let the walls crumble, because in that breaking there is a revealing. In that shedding there is truth. The real youth, the soul self, does not need to be created. It only needs to be revealed. And Archangel Michael is here to help you do just that. He stands at your side now. It's not as a distant celestial being, but as a close companion. You may not see him with your eyes, but you can feel him in the quiet. In the moments when your heart says, there's more to this life than what I've been told. In the moments you choose love, when fear would be easier. Oh, in the strength that rises in you when you think you can't go on. That's him. That's the presence of divine remembrance. You've never been alone. Even in the darkest nights, there was an angel standing over you, shielding you from what could have broken you completely. And now, that same angel is reminding you, it's time to remember who you are. Not in ego, but in soul. Not in identity, but in essence. You are divine. You are light. You are love, made manifest in human form, and the world is waiting for you. To awaken asterisk, there's something sacred about the moment you stop pretending. When you finally take off the mask the world trained you to wear, and you let your soul speak, unfiltered and real. Archangel Michael says this is the most powerful act of awakening. Not the grand gestures, not the perfectly planned prayers, but the honest surrender to what is already alive within you. You don't have to have it all figured out to remember who you are. You don't need to be perfect to be worthy of divine truth. In fact, it is often in your most vulnerable state when you are cracked open, unsure and trembling that your true essence comes pouring through. And Michael is standing with you. In those very moments, not to fix you, but to remind you, you were never broken. Your awakening doesn't look like anyone else's, and it's not supposed to. Some people hear their calling in dreams, others in heartbreak. Some are awakened by beauty, others by suffering. Some are shaken awake by loss. And yet, all of these paths lead to the same sacred truth that deep within you is a presence untouched by the pain of this world, light that cannot be extinguished. And now, it's time to let that light lead. The awakening Michael speaks of is not about leaving this world behind. It's about walking through it with open eyes. It's a brave heart and the memory of your divinity. It's about seeing the sacred in the ordinary, feeling God in your breath. Knowing that every sunrise is an invitation to live fully, fearlessly, and aligned with your soul. He is asking you now, what would your life look like if you remembered that you are not separate from the divine? If you remembered that angels walk beside you, not only when you're praying, but when you're crying in the car, when you're laughing with your kids, when you're doubting yourself at 3 a.m. The divine is not distant. It lives in your... Now, Michael's presence is like a sword made of light, not to harm, but to reveal. He cuts through the layers of illusion, fear, and shame you've worn like armor. Not because you were weak, but because this world taught you it was dangerous to be soft, to feel deeply, to love without guardrails. And now he's helping you remember. Your sensitivity is a gift. Your empathy is sacred. Your heart is a vessel. For heaven, for too long, you've been told to toughen up, to quiet your intuition, to dim your light so others wouldn't feel uncomfortable. But Michael is saying enough. You didn't come here to be small. You didn't incarnate it this time. Of planetary awakening to hide your truth. You came here to embody it, to live it, to speak it, even when your voice shakes, and know it won't always be easy. The path of remembrance is often paved with letting go. You may have to walk away from people who don't recognize your light. You may have to release beliefs that once felt safe, but now keep you caged. You may have to choose yourself in ways you never dared before, but you will not walk alone. Archangel Michael promises that when you commit to your soul, divine support will rise to meet you. The path may be narrow, but it is lit with miracles. And every time you say yes to your truth, you open the door for others to do the same. You don't need to wait for the perfect moment. This is the moment. The discomfort you feel is not a sign that something is wrong. It's the labor pain of your soul birthing a new reality. A reality rooted not in fear, but in remembrance. In the knowing that you are love incarnate. And when you operate from that truth, your entire world begins to shift. You start attracting people who see you, not just for what you do, but for who you are. You begin to feel peace in the silence, purpose in the pain, and strength in the stillness. You find courage not in the absence of fear, but in the presence of faith. You stop asking for permission to be who you've always been. Michael reminds you that awakening is not a one-time event. It's a process, a spiral, a homecoming that deepens every time you choose love over fear. It's in the small, holy choices, when you speak kindly to yourself, when you forgive even when it hurts, when you trust the invisible, even when the visible is falling apart. He says, you were never meant to stay asleep forever. came here to remember, and your time is now. There is a reason you're hearing this now. There is a reason your heart beats a little faster when you feel truth. There is a reason you've always known, deep down, that you were here for something more. This is that more. This is your return to soul. And it doesn't require you to be fearless. It just requires you to be willing. It's willing to listen, willing to trust, willing to take the next step even when you can't see the whole path. Because the path will reveal itself to the one who dares to walk it. You are not just waking up for yourself, you are waking up for all those who are still trapped in the illusion of separation. You are becoming a lighthouse in a world full of storms. And even when you don't feel like it, your light reaches farther than you know, so breathe, soften, let the armor fall. Can you feel it? It's that quiet pulse of truth, that gentle push from the unseen, that familiar voice whispering, you are more than this moment. You are more than what the world told you to be. That voice is Michael. That voice is your soul. That voice is home. Asterisk, there's a shift in the atmosphere now. A quiet but undeniable quickening. Time feels thinner, like the veil between worlds is being lifted. And suddenly, you are able to sense what was always just beyond the edge of perception. Archangel Michael stands with you in this sacred threshold, guiding you not into something foreign, but back to your true self. You are not entering something new. You're re-entering your origin. The more you listen, the louder the soul speaks. And sometimes, the soul doesn't speak in words, it speaks in longings. In tears you can't quite explain, in the feeling of being out of place in a world that moves too fast and values too little. But that ache, that restless pull in your chest, that's not emptiness. That's the call to remembrance. You didn't imagine your gifts. You didn't fabricate your sensitivity. You've always known things without knowing how. You've felt energies in rooms. You've cried for people you've never met. You've looked at the sky and felt homesick for something not of this earth. These aren't coincidences. These are soul memories waking up. These are whispers of your divine nature, breaking through the noise. And Archangel Michael wants you to understand your gifts are not a burden. They are sacred tools, encoded into your being before you came here. Yes, they may have made you feel different. Yes, they may have been misunderstood. But they are the very keys that will unlock your true path. The world may have tried to teach you that being sensitive meant being weak, that feeling too much was something to fix. But Michael says your sensitivity is your superpower. It is the antenna of your spirit. It's how you feel the truth, even when it hasn't been spoken. You are meant to feel deeply, passionately, boldly, because it is through feeling that you heal. It is through healing that you remember. You may have walked through fire, may have endured heartbreak that split your soul open. But look at you, you're still here, not just breathing but awakening. You're starting to see that every wound held a lesson, every loss a hidden blessing. Every moment you thought would break you is actually carving space within you for more light. Michael's sword is not only a weapon, it is a light that illuminates your path. And now he is pointing it forward, urging you to step beyond the threshold of fear and into the space of divine remembrance. You will not always feel ready. But readiness is not a requirement for transformation. Willingness is. He asks you now, what are you still holding on to that no longer reflects who you truly are? What stories have you outgrown? What masks are you still wearing out of habit, not truth? So awakening is about peeling back those layers. It's not to become someone better, but to become someone truer. To come back to the version of yourself that existed before the world told you who you were supposed to be. And in this return, there will be grief. You'll grieve the years you spent asleep. You'll grieve the parts of yourself you silenced to be accepted. But you will also feel an overwhelming wave of peace. It's the kind of peace that only comes when your soul finally feels seen. Michael wants you to trust that even the pain has served you, that nothing has been wasted, that every detour, every heartbreak, every breakdown was actually part of your breakthrough. You weren't being punished. You were being prepared. Prepared to rise. Prepared to lead. Prepared to shine? The world needs your light now more than ever, and not the polished, curated version of your light. The real light. the one that trembles, that cracks, that pulses from your core with raw and holy truth, you are not here to be perfect. You are here to be real, to be honest, to be love in motion. Archangel Michael walks beside you now, not just as a guide, but as a witness to your courage. He has seen you fall and rise 1,000 times, and still you've chosen to keep going. That alone makes you worthy. That alone makes you divine. You may not see the full picture yet. You may still be surrounded by questions. But if you quiet the noise, you'll feel the answer in your chest. It's not logic. It's knowing. You are here on purpose, and everything in your life is aligning to help you remember that. Let yourself be cracked open. Let the light pour through the wounds. Let the divine rearrange your reality, not to punish you, but to reveal the truth beneath the illusion. This is the sacred unraveling, the undoing of everything that is not you. It may feel like chaos, but it is creation. It may feel like loss, but it is liberation. It may feel like death, but it is rebirth. And through it all, Michael is right there, holding your hand, whispering the truth that your soul already knows, but your mind keeps forgetting. You are not what happened to you. You are not your struggle. You're not the voice of fear. You are the presence that remains when everything else falls away. You are divine consciousness in human form. And every time you choose to live from that place, you become a beacon for others to do the same. The world is awakening. So are you. Asterisk, the path of awakening is not always easy. In fact, sometimes it feels like everything familiar begins to fall apart. The relationships, the routines, even the version of yourself you thought was real suddenly, none of it fits anymore. That's your soul saying, no more pretending. It's time to return to truth. It's a holy discomfort that comes with transformation. It's not meant to destroy you. It's meant to strip away everything that is not in harmony with your spirit. And yes, it can feel like a death. What's dying isn't you, it's the illusion. The false identities, conditioned behaviors, the stories you inherited that were never yours to carry. Michael whispers in this moment, let it fall. Let it go. What is real cannot be lost. He is not asking you to be fearless. He's asking you to be faithful. Faithful to your soul. Faithful to the divine voice that's growing louder within you. Faithful to the knowing that you were made for more than survival. You were made for sacred purpose. This world is built on distractions, noise, constant stimulation that pulls you away from the still small voice within. But Archangel Michael is cutting through that noise now. He's showing you how to return, not to a place, but to a presence. The presence of who you were before the world told you who to be. You may feel lost right now, but Michael wants you to know you're exactly where you need to be. The confusion, the discomfort, even the grief, it's all a part of the awakening. It's the crumbling before the rising. It's the deep breath before the leap. And you are not alone. There are others like you. Souls who came here to awaken, to remember, to lead with light. Some you've met, some are on their way, but they are here. And the more you step into your truth, the more you will recognize them. Not with your eyes, but with your energy. You'll feel them. You'll remember them, because they too are remembering. This is not the end. This is the beginning of a new way of being, a new way of seeing, a new way of loving starting with yourself. Archangel Michael asks, when was the last time you looked in the mirror and saw your soul, not your scars? When was the last time you honored your journey instead of judging it? You've carried so much, and still you shine. Still you hope. Still you love. That is the mark of the awakened. You don't need approval to walk in your purpose. You're the permission. You're the doorway. You are the awakening. Michael reminds you that awakening doesn't mean becoming someone new. It means peeling back the layers until you reveal the sacred essence that has always been there. The part of you that has never been afraid, the part that remembers its divine origin. The part that knows this world is only a chapter in an eternal story. Your soul chose this life. It chose these experiences not as punishment, but as a path a path to remembering your power, your wisdom, your infinite connection to the divine. And now, Michael is helping you reclaim that path. One breath at a time, you may feel like everything is shifting you may feel like the old world is falling apart, and it is, but that is not a reason to fear. That is a reason to rejoice, because the old must fall away for the new to rise. The illusion must collapse for the truth to be revealed, and through it all, you are being guided, protected, held. Michael's wings are not metaphors, they are presence. When you feel surrounded by chaos, call upon him. When your mind is full of doubt, call upon him. When you're unsure of the next step, ask for clarity. He will answer, maybe not in the way you expect, maybe not in words, but in signs, in feelings. In moments of synchronicity that are too perfect to ignore, you are supported more than you know. You are loved more than you feel. You are remembered, even when you forget. This is not the time to retreat. This is the time to rise. To speak your truth, to walk your path, even if no one else understands it. You are not here to fit in. You are here to shine. You are here to embody the light that others are still trying to find. Michael says, do not underestimate your presence. Your energy shifts rooms. Your light awakens others. You are a living reminder of the divine. You don't need to try. You just need to be fully, authentically, unapologetic ally. It's okay if it's messy. It's okay if you're still figuring it out. Awakening isn't about perfection. It's about presence. It's about being real, honest, open, and choosing. Love again and again, even when it's hard, especially when it's hard. That's where the power is. That's where the magic lives. The quiet moments and the sacred pauses. The simple decision to trust the divine, even when your mind is filled with doubt. So let yourself be guided. Let yourself be held. Let yourself be seen, not by the world, but by your soul. And know this, you are not behind. You are not late. You are right on time. Because divine timing is not measured by clocks, it is measured by readiness. Are ready now? Ready to remember? Ready to awaken? Ready to rise? Asterisk. There comes a moment when you stop searching outside of yourself for the answers, and you begin to turn inward. Not because the world suddenly made sense, but because your soul finally whispered, come home. Archangel Michael says this is the threshold of true awakening, not when you find something new, but when you reclaim what was never lost. You have always carried the truth within you, beneath the noise of fear, beneath the pressure to conform, beneath the layers of protection you built just to survive. The truth is not something you must seek, it's something you must remember. And remembering doesn't happen through force, it happens through stillness, through willingness, through grace. Michael wants you to understand something very clearly. The journey inward is not about escaping reality, it's about realigning with what's real. The divine is not found in some far-off place, it's here, in this moment, in this breath, in the heartbeat you didn't have to earn, in the love that exists before you try to deserve it. And yet, you've been taught to doubt yourself. It's conditioned to mistrust your knowing. It's taught to defer your power to authority, to systems, to voices louder than your own. But Michael's message is unwavering. You were born with direct access to the divine. No one can take that from you. And no one is more qualified to live your truth than you. Let that sink in. You don't need to ask for permission to be who you truly are. You don't need to wait for signs to prove your intuition is real. You don't need to be chosen by someone else. You were chosen by your own soul the moment you incarnated here. That's enough. You are enough. You always have been. But the world benefits from your forgetting. When you forget who you are easier to control, easier to manipulate, easier to silence. And that's why Archangel Michael is here now, to help you break the spell of forgetfulness. To remind you of the power that lives inside your bones, the fire that can't be extinguished. The truth that doesn't need to shout because it simply is. And here's what that truth says. You are divine. You are light. Or the bridge between heaven and earth. Your existence is not a mistake, is a message. A living, breathing message that says the sacred is still alive in the world. Every time you choose compassion over judgment, presence over distraction, courage over comfort, you embody that message. You transmit light just by being aligned. But let's be honest, remembering who you are isn't always a gentle process. Sometimes it looks like heartbreak. Sometimes it feels like isolation. Sometimes it demands that you walk away from everything you thought you needed just to return to yourself. Michael knows this. That's why he walks beside you during the unraveling. He doesn't just appear in the victories, he is most present. In the shedding, in the silence, the nights when you feel like giving up but still choose to stay. Still choose to believe there. Something more. Because there is something more. There is a version of you waiting on the other side of this becoming. Not a better version. A truer one. The version of you that doesn't apologize for your sensitivity. That doesn't shrink to make others comfortable. It doesn't mistake being nice for being authentic. The version of you that walks into a room and radiates truth not because you're trying to prove anything, but because you've remembered you are everything. And no, not everyone will understand. Some people will fall away. Some will question your change. Some may even resist your growth because your light triggers their shadows. But Michael urges you, do not dim to be digestible. Do not fold yourself into a shape that fits their comfort. You are not here to be small. You are here to be free. Freedom doesn't come from doing what you want. Freedom comes from being who you are, fully, boldly, reverently. Because when you are rooted in who you truly are, the world cannot sway you. Trends can't confuse you. Fear can't control you. And this remembrance is not selfish, it's sacred. Because every time you live from your soul, you give others permission to do the same. You become a mirror, a guide, a lighthouse, and not by preaching, but simply by existing in truth. Michael reminds you, awakening is not about escaping the world. It's about transforming it from within. You didn't come here to bypass pain. You came to transmute it, to hold it with love, to walk through it with grace, to use it as fuel for your purpose. Yes, you will be tested. Yes, the path will sometimes be lonely, but the path will also be miraculous. You will see signs that defy logic. You will meet people whose souls feel familiar. You will have moments of stillness that feel like touching eternity. And you will know you're exactly where you're meant to be. So if you're feeling the urge to strip it all down, to quit the job that drains you, to speak the truth that scares you, to say no without guilt, follow that urge. It's not rebellion, it's remembrance. Michael says you're not crazy, you're awakening. You're not falling apart. You're falling into alignment. Not too much you're, funnily enough, for yourself. And the moment you choose to honor your soul, the universe rearranges to support that choice. This is the beginning of your liberation. And it starts not with a leap, but with a whisper, as a single quiet moment where you choose your truth over your fear, where you choose to believe the voice within you more than the voices around you. That moment is now. Asterisk. And now you stand at the edge of something sacred. It's not a destination, but a return. Not an ending, but a remembering. You've walked through the fire. You've faced the shadows. You've heard the calling echo through the silence. And even though you may not have all the answers, your soul is no longer asleep. You are waking up. Archangel Michael stands beside you, not as a distant being, but as a part of your divine memory, an ancient companion who has walked with you through lifetimes. He speaks now, not just to your mind, but to your essence. And what he says is simple, yet life-altering. You are not who you were told to be. You are who you were created to be. And it's time to live as that truth. This isn't about becoming enlightened in the way the world defines it. It's not about perfection or purity or earning your worth. No, this is about presence, about integrity, about living from your center, again and again, no matter how many times you forget. Because remembering is a practice, and awakening is a rhythm, not a race. You don't need to rush. You don't need to force anything. All that's required is your yes, your willingness. To see yourself clearly, to love yourself fiercely, to trust that your path, no matter how twisted or messy, has always been sacred, even the chapters you wish you could erase, especially those chapters. Michael wants you to know the pain you've endured was not for nothing. It softened you so you could feel. It cracked you open so you could receive. It shattered illusions so truth could rise. And now that truth lives. In your breath, in your bones, in your every choice to walk in alignment with your soul. Do not underestimate what's happening inside of you. This is not some passing phase. This is not just a moment of inspiration. This is your spirit reclaiming its throne. And as you reclaim yourself, something miraculous happens. You begin to see differently. Where you once saw problems, you now see invitations. Where you once saw enemies, you now see mirrors. Where you once felt abandoned, you now feel held. The universe was never punishing you, it was refining you. Michael reminds you, the light is not outside of you, it is you. You've just been taught to search for it in all the wrong places. But now you know better. Now you feel it radiating from the center of your being. And you will never again let the world convince you to dim that light to be accepted. Your power is not in how much you do. It's in how deeply you remember. So remember this. You are a soul first. You are divine in essence. You are here with purpose. Your sensitivity is not a flaw, it is your guidance system. Your longing is not weakness. It is sacred direction. Your emotions are not obstacles. They are sacred messengers. And your intuition is not fantasy, it is ancient intelligence speaking through you. The more you remember who you are, the more you'll realize that life isn't happening to you. Your energy shapes your reality. Beliefs magnetize your experiences. Your intention directs the divine like a compass pointing home. This is why Michael says, protect your energy. Guard your heart. Honor your frequency. Not because the world is evil, but because your energy is sacred. Because you are a portal between realms. Because when you are clear, connected, and centered, miracles flow through you with ease. You are not here to chase. You are here to attract. You're not here to beg. You are here to remember that everything you need is already within. And yes, you will still have human moments. You'll still cry, still doubt, still forget. But even that is holy, because each time you fall, you rise faster. Each time you forget, the remembering goes deeper. And each time, you are tempted to give up, but don't. You anchor more light into this world. That is the real work. Not the outer striving, not the constant effort, but the deep, invisible choosing, the quiet daily returning to your soul. Trust that even when it looks like nothing is changing, everything is shifting in the unseen. Michael wants you to know you are supported. You are surrounded. You are never doing this alone. The moment you ask, you receive. The moment you call on the divine, it answers. It's not always in the way you expect, but always in the way your soul needs. So breathe, soften, surrender. Let the false fall away. Let the old identities return to dust. Let the light of who you really are take its rightful place, not above others, but rooted in truth, anchored in humility, radiant in love. You are a lighthouse now, not because you shine for attention, but because you shine from remembrance. Others will feel it. Others will be drawn to it. Not your personality, but your presence. Not your words, but your energy. And in doing so, you will become the answer to someone else's silent prayer. That is the ripple effect of awakening. That is the miracle of remembrance. That is what it means to walk this earth as a soul on fire with truth. So wake up. Not just today, but every day. Wake up and remember you are divine. Wake up and remember your life matters. Wake up and remember the world needs your light. Draw, imperfect, and real. Archangel Michael is with you, not just as a guardian, but as a mirror, reflecting back the truth of your soul when you forget. And even when you can't feel him, he's still there. Even when you don't hear guidance, he's still whispering. Even when you doubt your worth, he's still fighting for your truth. You are not who the world told you to be. You are who the divine created you to be. And that is more than enough. Now go. Live like you remember, asterisk.